pencil.
Uh-huh. Oh, like a eraser? Like that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like a giant eraser.
Oh, okay. And then how long does it take you to do that carving on that eraser thing?
It depends on the size. There's benefits and there's pluses and negatives to both ends. So if you do a big stamp, it takes a lot longer to carve. However, because it's so big, it's faster to print a yard of fabric, right? But if you do a smaller stamp, the carving is faster, but it's a lot more time when you're printing.
And then, right, because it's smaller, so you got to make, so,
right.
Okay, so you've carved it out, and that takes a lot of talent in your artist, and it's awesome. And then you put the silk screen stuff on the stamp, and then you flip it over and put it on the fabric, and then how do you get it so that, do you care whether it's even or not, or are you getting really good at, like, making the pattern all look the same? And how do you make it, like, so do you worry about interlocking patterns, sort of making, as it goes, or not? You don't worry about that part?
Well, when I first started doing it, I really did not do interlocking patterns. I was doing more, almost a polka dot effect where they weren't directly connected, but they were scattered statically on the fabric. The more recent ones I've been playing with, like the interlocking ones, which I really dig. But it is, I would say the consistency of inking is probably the biggest thing that I've tried to figure out. Because sometimes, you don't really know how much ink is on it until you roll it over on the fabric and go, oh, that wasn't enough ink.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Right. So then you're like, and you've already done a bunch of it. So, like, what do you do once you mess up? Do you just make them into blocks, or like, what happens when you mess up on the fabric and you're like halfway through?
Well, I keep going.
You just keep going.
I kind of said, I just kind of said, I wanted them to be a certain, quality for quilting. So I started buying Kona because I really like the quality of the Kona fabric.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, well, I don't want to waste the Kona.
Right.
So I keep printing. And then I kind of just had a moment at one point where I went, you know what, this is a homemade product. This is something that it's not manufactured by a machine somewhere that has all this perfect alignment.
Right. That's not the point.
Right. Right. It's supposed to be something that is created by my hands. And the mistakes in that, I think, are part of the charm of
totally
of the fabric.
So what do you do with the fabric? So I've
just kind of sort of live with them.
Yeah. So what do you do with the fabric? Do you use it? Do you sell it? Do people ask you to make stuff for you from it? What do you do with it?
I kind of a little bit of everything. I have started cutting them into, I've been really into English paper piecing at night because it's really easy for me to sit with my kids and watch TV or be present, when I'm locked away in my sewing room and concentrating on something, it's hard to play mom,
Yeah.
So I've had an English paper piece project that I've probably been working on for 2 years or something. So at first, I started cutting them up into sort of like charm pack size and using those for like a hexy EPP type thing.
So cool.
But recently I started, it's almost hard to cut them up, Like you look at it and you go, oh, it's so pretty. I don't want to cut it up.
Right.
So I started trying to make some pillow covers for like throw pillow type things.
Yeah.
And then I have used one to strip it into sort of like about a 3-inch strip and put it together. But it just depends on like the pattern. Like I did one that's like a circular pattern, and that one, when you cut it up, they're not close enough together to make it feel like, when you cut it up, you get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So that one is more, the design makes it want to be more whole. Does that make sense?
That does.
So we've done a couple things. I've given some away. I haven't sold them.
You haven't sold them?
Yet. I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it, but I don't know. Selling makes me nervous sometimes.
Yeah, it seems like I'd be curious how much work it would, like, I don't know. It'd be hard to know, like, is it worth it to do it? I imagine if you did like a panel or something that, like, I don't know. Like, how much would it cost versus how much would someone buy it? Like all that. I don't know how you do that part, So
Sure.
People do it on, but I really want to see them. I really think that would be really cool.
I was thinking you keep getting packages. I'll send you some if you want.
I would love it. I would so love it. Yeah,
awesome.
I would love it. I would love a pack. Oh, that'd be so cool. That would be so cool. Right? Like the stuff it's just so cool. The stuff I've seen of your stuff is so cool and it really tells you like it's just out of like creativity and love and crafts and like it's cool, right? Like why do you do it? Why do you spend all the time doing this? What motivates you to do it?
I just love it. I mean, I haven't always. I mean, I think that the printing of the fabric is a really recent passion. I've always been super interested in fabric and quilting, and now that my mom, it's really a huge connection for us because now that I'm so into quilting, she's really into quilting now too.
That's so cool.
And so and she lives in Maine. I live in South Carolina, and so we have a lot of conversations and phone calls. And I'll call my parents, and my dad will pick up and go, "Oh, hold on, here's your mom. You can talk quilting," And we just talk all kinds of things. A couple years ago, we met up at the Quilt Festival in Lancaster that's going on.
Oh, that's really
cool. And we're able to kind of. Yeah, it's really, and we took my daughter. My daughter now sews.
How old is your kid?
10.
She's 10? Oh, that's
my
perfect.
oldest is 10, and then I have a son who's 8, and then another daughter who's 6.
Oh,
and
that's very cool.
my 10-year-old is very much, my 10-year-old is very much into sewing now. She has her own sewing machine, and in our sewing room she has her own spot so that she can pick what she wants and do her own projects. And my son is very into fabric. He's not so much into sewing. He just made a little pillowcase and he was very proud of himself. But he's very much into like, "Ooh, Mom, I love this," and touching the fabric. And
that's really cool.
And my 6-year-old just got into carving, which I'm sure it's just because we're spending so much time together. But I'll have to send you a picture of her carving. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life.
I love it. That's very cool.
So I just really love it. I think that, I just think that I'm the 6th this year, and, I work full time. I have 3 kids. I have a very patient husband who puts up with my sewing addiction and takes me to quilt cons and things like that. And I think that for a while it kind of got put on the back seat. Did it, the project took years and all that kind of stuff. And now that my kids are a little bit more self-sufficient and interested in what I'm doing, it's more accessible.
I put it away until my kid was 5, and then we could do it together. And then we started doing it. Now she's almost 15, but it's interesting, isn't it? So it's hard to do it when they're really. I mean, I know people do it when they nap, but mine never napped, so that was never a choice.
Well,
so,
I mean, also when you're a working parent and you get home and you're cramming an entire day of togetherness into 3 hours before it's bedtime.
Right, exactly.
It's hard to justify, hey, I'm going to take an hour and go sew.
It's totally true. It's too indulgent. They're just not going to happen. Like there's just too much going on. There's too much. There's homework. There's all kinds of other things. There's cleaning and cooking and everything. And then by the time you would sew, I just be too tired. Right? It's like almost
it's
like you're not allowed to sew. You're so tired. So.
Well, not only that, but my mom always had there were, Peggy's rules of sewing. And the number one rule was never sew when you're frustrated or tired, because you're only going to make mistakes and you're going to regret the progress that you make, because it's not going to be your best work.
I totally agree with that. That's really great. That's super smart. Because I didn't really think about that. I have definitely said when I was mad and frustrated about something else and things just went really badly with sewing. Yeah. It was like you were fighting with the fabric or something.
Exactly. You're going to spend more time ripping at your seams than you are making progress.
Somebody's got a rule. If they rip more than once, they're done. Like if they have a one rip rule.
I know. And you have to be comfortable with your seam ripper and know that you're going to make mistakes. But if you roll into a project and you're already in a terrible mood, chances are it's not going to work out.
It's true. It's really true. I hadn't really thought about that. That's really interesting. You also do the vinyl stuff. Tell me a little bit about the vinyl stuff, because you have a picture of you saying, I'd rather be quilting. And then I asked you where you got it. And you're like, I made it. I'm like, whoa, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
It's just like another, say it again.
Tell me more about it. Do you like doing that?
I do. I find that, there's not that I have seen anyways. So I'm by no means an expert and have been to limited quilt fairs and events. But typically there's not a fun quilt swag. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's not typically, and I am not a size 2 woman. So typically if there is quilt swag, it's not in my size.
Yeah. Got it. I get it.
So I just decided to start making my own.
That is so
because
cool.
I would rather be quilting, and I make little things for like the kiddos, and when we're real big into Olympics. So when the Olympics came, we went to the dollar store and got T-shirts, and we all made Olympic themed T-shirts with vinyl stuff.
That's so cool.
But it's just another. I have turned. They say you turn into your mother at some point. I have turned into my mother.
I have too, actually.
Because I'm into.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it, by the way.
Me too. I actually am too. It makes me actually happy as I become my mom. So. And
sometimes, they say you open your mouth and your mother comes out, and I go, "Ooh, I retained something as a child."
That's really great. I love it.
But I love all things craft. So it was just another extension of being able to make something that's my own, that I wasn't able to find in a consumer way.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
So it's just really, really fun.
Well, I think your stuff is so cool. I cannot wait. Will you send me a bio of like your little bio, and then also some pictures of the in progress hexy paper piecing thing? Because they're my very favorite. Sure. And then a sample would be great. I will totally, it'll be so insanely awesome. We'll put it on the wall because I think that's so cool. Yeah. I love your stuff. Your stuff is so, I love it. The stuff that I've seen is so, I love the thing that you posted. It's just really cool.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, your drawings are really cool. I love your drawings. They're so interesting. They're really, I like them. So
I'm not really like a drawer. I'm not a confident drawer. So that's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, and I love the one that's the blue, the one that you posted. That's the rubber. I guess it's not the pencil part, the eraser part that you're. It's really cool. Do you always
do a sheet of that?
Yeah. Do you always do it in the same ink color, or do you change ink colors?
I do change ink colors dependent on the fabric color.
So cool.
I
love your stuff.
I don't know. Oh,
I'm on the.
I tend to like.
Sorry, go ahead. You tend to like the black color.
Yeah, I like black on color.
Yeah.
Just because I think it really pops.
It's so cool. So I'm looking at the one that's got the flowers and the circles and the square and the triangles, and it's just cool. Yeah. It is just so cool because clearly, like it's repeating and putting it back together. But it's just like, do you just want to like make that into a quilt? You don't want to cut it up. It's perfect, right? Like, why would you want to do anything more to it? You just want to put it in like bind it and put it on the wall, right?
I know. Well, I think that one specifically, I was hoping to find something that would be a repeating pattern I could use as a backing, because I'd love to be able to have, some pieces on the front that are pieced and cut, put together in sort of semi-traditional quilting, and then the back have it be something that's mine and something that would look pretty just as a repeating, as itself, something I would like to look at in yardage.
It's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. It really is.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, I really like it. I'm I like things, but then sometimes I really like things. I think your stuff is really cool. It's got like a cool factor to it. It's got that homey factor, but it's kind of modern, but it's kind of cool, and it's just so pleasing. Like everybody's eye is different, but This stuff is amazing. It's great. The designs are amazing.
I really appreciate it.